Those who expect to reap the blessings of freedom must, like men, undergo the fatigue of supporting it. By Thomas Paine. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. By George Washington. I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past. By Thomas Jefferson. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. By Benjamin Franklin. A nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one. By Alexander Hamilton. Liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge among the people. By John Adams. The advancement and diffusion of knowledge is the only guardian of true liberty. By James Madison. Give me liberty or give me death. By Patrick Henry. No power on earth has a right to take our property from us without our consent. By John Jay. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. By Thomas Paine. If ye love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom, go from us in peace. By Samuel Adams. To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace. By George Washington. Honesty is the first chapter in the Book of Wisdom. By Thomas Jefferson. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. By Benjamin Franklin. Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. By John Adams. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. By James Madison. The Constitution is not an instrument for the government to restrain the people. It is an instrument for the people to restrain the government. By Patrick Henry. The wise and the honest seek peace. By John Jay. The liberties of our country, the freedom of our civil constitution, are worth defending at all hazards. By Samuel Adams. Resistance to tyranny becomes the Christian and social duty of each individual. By John Hancock. It is certainly true that a popular government cannot flourish without virtue in the people. By Richard Henry Lee. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. By George Washington. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. By Thomas Jefferson. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. By Benjamin Franklin. Real liberty is neither found in despotism or the extremes of democracy, but in moderate governments. By Alexander Hamilton. A government of laws and not of men. By John Adams. The purpose of separation of church and state is to keep forever from these shores the ceaseless strife that has soaked the soil of Europe in blood for centuries. By James Madison. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. By Patrick Henry. Providence has given to our people the choice of their rulers, and it is the duty as well as the privilege and interest of our Christian nation to select and prefer Christians for their rulers. By John Jay. The world is my country, all mankind are my brethren, and to do good is my religion. By Thomas Paine. All men are by nature equally free and independent and have certain inherent rights. By George Mason. Government is not reason, it is not eloquence, it is force, like fire, a troublesome servant and a fearful master. By George Washington. I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. By Thomas Jefferson. Well done is better than well said. By Benjamin Franklin. The sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged for among old parchments or musty records. They are written, as with a sunbeam, in the whole volume of human nature. By Alexander Hamilton. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. By John Adams. Knowledge will forever govern ignorance, and a people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power which knowledge gives. By James Madison. When the American spirit was in its youth, the language of America was different. Liberty, sir, was the primary object. By Patrick Henry. To all general purposes, we have uniformly been one people, each individual citizen, everywhere, enjoying the same national rights, privileges, and protection. By John Jay. A long habit of not thinking a thing wrong gives it a superficial appearance of being right. By Thomas Paine. It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting brushfires of freedom in the minds of men. By Samuel Adams. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. By George Washington. Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. Act. Action will delineate and define you. By Thomas Jefferson.